Hey, the Louisiana Committee on Parole is impaneled in Baton Rouge at headquarters. On my left is Ms. Stapleton. To my right is Mr. Prater on the stew. We are at Orleans Parish Prison. Who do we have in front of us today?
I can't. Did she ask who I was? Michael
Yes,
Dickerson. Michael
your
Dickerson.
name and your DOC number.
129600. Michael Dickerson.
Okay, Mr. Dickerson. Um, you're before this panel because you have been charged with violating the conditions of your parole. Do you have a piece of paper in front of you that's a parole questionnaire that indicates your signature? Yes, that's correct. And that is your signature. The answers to that question indicate that you're not eligible for appointed counsel. Do you have an attorney?
She's there. I don't need one. I'm gonna represent myself.
Okay, great. So, Mr. Dickerson, I'm going to ask Ms. Stapleton to ask you some questions. And
Okay. First of all, this paper, I'm not sure what probable cause was found.
okay, we'll go over that.
All right.
Okay.
Mhm.
Ms. Stapleton will take over.
Okay, Mr. Dickerson, it shows that you were in violation of rule number 8. You have not provided proof that you have enrolled and attended sex offender treatment. And rule number 10, you are currently $3,087 in arrears. Oh, well, how do you plead on the first one? I'm sorry, go ahead and plead guilty, not guilty, and later you can give me a statement.
Not guilty, and I'm definitely gonna give a statement, yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, and then, number 10, you are currently $3,087 in arrear of your supervision fees. The last payment was on 6/25/21. Guilty, not guilty.
I've been unable to work, disabled. I had to quit working.
Okay, so are you on disability?
I'm fighting for it.
Okay, you're trying to get it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I have that you attended sex offender class at some point in the past.
Twice I voluntarily enrolled in prison,
Huh?
and then in the Washington Parish District, I was going
Okay.
twice a month.
Okay, well, can you explain what's going on with number 8 now that you
Yes, I can. And like I said, I have volunteered. Well, I know what it says. And he didn't put probable cause, but the hearing officer for probable cause used the contract, the sex offender contract, the standard form. And if you notice, it's an adult victim. And my parole officer relied on section 3, the
Okay.
second sentence, where it says that if on parole and per departmental policy and the direction of the parole board, that you'd be required to do the thing. Now, my statement is this: that is true that I didn't enroll, but I tried. So from February the 20th, I received a photocopy of a piece of paper that said I had to cash app $175. My parole officer said, or he would do the other part of his job he didn't like doing. And I was like, I'll try to borrow the money. And for 4 months, I tried to borrow the money. Even spoke to some detectives at the New Orleans Police Department about it, that I was being pressured to cash app this money. And I contacted the number on the place from here, and there's a recorded phone call. And the lady told me that they do counseling for people sent by the courts, and that I had to pay the money in full, or that I couldn't even give them my name. And so I hung up. I mean, I'm indigent. That's what I'm guilty of. But I tried to borrow the money from my family for 5 months until the end of May. In fact, when I was arrested at the NOPD, I was at my compliance meeting, trying to explain to the detective that did my case that I'm having trouble. I'm trying to get this money so that I don't get locked up. He even called my parole officer, and he had to hang up on him because he started yelling something about the legislature and the new law. But that's not true. I've taken sex offender class in prison. I received good time for it. Back when they first started, I
We
believe it was
can't.
Dr. Susan Tucker at Allen Correctional Center.
It
And
says
then,
that you took sex offender treatment class in 2010.
yeah, that was in Washington Parish.
Okay.
My parole officer was Timothy Phelps, and I tried to get a hold of him for him to testify, but I found out he had passed away in 2019. So what Agent Wilder, the new parole officer, and I told him over and over after I realized at the preliminary hearing that Section 3 didn't even apply to me at all. At first, it says, according to those people on probation, Article 895, that's probation. I've never been on probation for a sex offense. So he said, no, keep reading. And I'm glad I kept reading because I found the law that the departmental policy is based upon. And the victim is a minor. In my case, it was a 21-year-old girlfriend. I was 19 years old. I'm 55 now. I mean, and I've been on the street for 5 years, and all of a sudden this was a problem. And I've never been convicted twice for any sex offense, which is the next requirement to qualify per the departmental policies. And furthermore, the third one, which would be subsection G, I would have to be in prison in order to receive the treatment. And a lot of this is the progesterone acetate. I'm not looking to get castrated. I don't have much longer to live anyway. But I think that the parole officer misunderstood because he seen the word parole. But it says right here, I mean, the policy, it is the secretary's policy that certain convicted sex offenders, as specifically defined in subsections E, F, G, and H, shall participate in appropriate sex offender treatment plans pursuant to the provisions of the regulation and the statutory requirements as stated therein. And we'll start with E. The victim was 21 years old. She was not 12 years old or younger. And I wasn't convicted 2 or more times. There was one conviction, a 21-year-old girlfriend, docket number 58341 in Lafayette Parish.
Forcible rape and aggravated oral sexual battery.
That's right, docket 58341. That's one conviction. Now, I go to F, and that's the one dealing with the people that are committed to the custody of the Department of Corrections, and which I am, being on parole, but further, it states that and housed in a state correctional facility where they would be required to receive the treatment until they are released on parole or otherwise.
Well, I have here that you were instructed to enroll in a sex offender treatment or get a letter from a psychiatrist stating that Michael Dickerson did not require treatment. Agent Wilder presented the record requirement showing Michael Dickerson refused sexual offender treatment while serving his sentence in DOC. Because Michael Dickerson did not enroll in sex offender treatment or provide proof of sex offender treatment, Agent Wilder requested a warrant for his arrest.
He didn't investigate.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Well, Mr. Dickerson, did you ever receive from the parole board a order to do sex offender treatment?
No.
Okay.
The only thing I got was from the parole officer that had Section 3 on the standard form, but per departmental policy, none of it pertained to me. I was like, I guess, one of the rare ones that didn't fall under any of the qualifications. But
Let me-
twice I volunteered, and
Can you-
I tried to take it,
Okay.
but they told me I couldn't until I paid $175 cash out.
I understand. Let me ask you another question.
Okay.
There are resources for indigent individuals. Can you get a psychiatric statement saying that you do not need that treatment? Why did you not go down that road?
Well, I just found this out after, like I said, he told me to keep reading, and I'm glad I did because I noticed that Article 5.8 under subsection E, pertaining to revised statute 538, somebody sentenced under that, they do have a thing about indigent people that the parole officer shall assist him by referring him to the Department of Health and Hospitals. Now, the parole officer did. I brought it up at the preliminary hearing, and he did say that, yes, he was supposed to do that, but he had forgot. And
Okay. So let me ask you this. Can you go to a psychiatrist and get a waiver for your sex offender treatment?
ma'am, I think I can have that by Monday,
Okay.
but I would have to go to my doctor at.
Okay. Mr. Prater, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Stapleton?
I don't have any, but I mean, I know that you're in arrears, but I also know that you're homeless.
Is that by choice?
Well, I have a wealthy family, and that came into question with my parole officers, and even the detectives, they asked me, we understand that your sister's a doctor and they got this big old house down here and all this, and like, they're embarrassed by me. That's what I think. They have their family, but speaking to my mom, I did tell her that I have a friend in their neighborhood that has said I can stay with him, but I think that I'd probably have to go help him clean the place up for inspection before, but I can stay with my mother. If she lives with my sister, that's another reason I don't burden them. And, that's their house.
Okay, well, let me tell you, you're on supervision according to your master prison record today,
Right.
September of 2029. So you need to stay in compliance until then. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And so it's easier if you have some stability.
Mhm.
Housing. Okay, I'm prepared to vote.
And just for the record, I've been commended by the NOPD over there. They say that I am the only person that has done every single thing I was supposed to do. I
Okay,
even managed.
we're prepared to vote at this time. Ready?
I would put a stipulation that we get the terms of the.
Okay, today I'm not gonna revoke you, but the stipulation is that you do get a letter from a psychiatrist saying that you do not need sex offender treatment. You have to provide proof. And then the homelessness, that needs to be corrected. There's shelters, there's different things like that that you can go to. You have to not be homeless, and you have to start paying these fees.
You're muted.
Uh-oh, you're muted.
Come out.
We
We
can't,
can't hear you.
so
I was addressing the homeless. I say in appreciation for you not revoking me, that I was self-imposed a deadline 2 weeks to have a permanent address.
that's fine with us.
All right,
Sooner the
so,
better.
right. And stay in touch with your agent. And so what are your conditions? Repeat it back to me with that I said.
Oh, to take care of the homelessness and
Weeks. In 2 weeks, you'll have a residence.
2 weeks.
Okay. What was the other one?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well,
Your
Write it down.
psychiatric
Oh, yeah,
evaluation.
the letter. Yes. The letter.
yes,
All right.
two things, and it's gonna be put on here, that these are, the conditions, special conditions.
Okay, and the letter.
You give to your agent.
Okay, all right.
Mr. Prater,
My vote is to revoke. I think he chooses to be homeless. He chooses not to get the,
Wait, no, it wasn't really.
said, please. He chooses not to get the treatment that he was ordered to get. He's relying on a lot of little paragraphs this and paragraph that, and I don't buy any of that. My vote is to revoke.
my vote today is do not revoke with condition that you have psych evaluation that says that you do not have to have sex offender treatment and that you address your housing issue. Today, 2-1, you're not revoked and you have some special conditions. And that concludes our business with you, Mr. Dickerson.